flames, forgotten heroes, who knows their names? Broken future, shattered dreams, end of times ain't what it seems.
Hello friends, this is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, July 30th, 2025. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus. They're waiting in the wing, so I'm trying to get through the intro quick here for you. Show notes I'll mention again later. Tomorrow we have special guest Michelle Spencer talk about her lawsuit she's launching over here against in Fresno County, where I'm at, against Fresno Community Hospital. She's a registered nurse. She's been on the show a few times here, warning about the baby demises. It's all come out. She was 100% correct because she was blowing the whistle on inside memos at the hospital that they were giving all the medical staff. They're talking about the increase in baby demises due to the novel miracle that we all know and love so much. Anyway, we're going to have her on tomorrow to talk things public health, what is up with her lawsuit against the local hospital here, and much more about public health and all things miracle. And so we will not be on YouTube tomorrow because they don't like such talk over there. It's getting to where they don't like much talk of anything. We did get a copyright, not a strike, but blocked from yesterday from the clip. I thought it was going to be the George Carlin clip. It was the clip from The Daily Show, Jon Stewart denouncing the genocide. And so apparently that's big time copyrighted, even though it's totally fair use. And something needs to be done about all of these big companies abusing copyright when it's clearly fair use and transformative, which are the standards to use someone else's material out there. And we fully met that standard yesterday. They don't care. I don't have the time or the means to fight it. And they know this. And so they're abusing copyright and not even allow us to have a show, essentially using any other material. And so it's abuse of power, but we wouldn't expect anything less from our techno-fascist overlords, would we? Anyway, so if you're looking on YouTube, it's on all the other channels, as they don't honor all this BS copyright claims. And I don't even believe it's a person, it's a bot doing it. And so no human is even doing any of this. It's just all AI bots doing it. And so it sucks, but that's the way it is. So if you're looking for yesterday's show on YouTube, jump over to Rumble, Odysee. Those are probably your two best bets, or Bitchute. And you can see it over there. Anyway, and then on Friday, we got a big California show for you on Friday. We got a debate lined up between the Cal Exit secessionist movement and the New California movement that wants to create a new state in California here. If you want to talk mainstream political, one leans left, one leans right, kind of, sort of, but not really. It's about these two issues of a independent state and secession. And so we're going to have that debate on Friday for you. Okay, quickly here, there's a big earthquake over there in Russia. And so, of course, it was Putin's fault. We hate all Russians for this. They tried to destroy the world with a tsunami, apparently. But luckily, it seems like there wasn't really that much damage done. And so we'll get to that with the 8.8 earthquake there off of Russia. And so, of course, it was Putin's fault, and he's bad for that, of course. The Megathrust fault is what it's being called out there, as what had been triggered by the earthquake, or the triggering of the earthquake. You know, the plates slide like this. We'll go over man-made earthquakes as well. But thankfully, it doesn't look like, as far as I can tell, not that bad for 8.8. Of course, triggering a tsunami warnings. And it didn't really pan out to be that bad, according to the accounts I've seen. So thankfully, we'll go over a little bit of that. Trump's on a tear again, back at the White House, issuing sanctions, tariffs all over the place. He's accused Nancy Pelosi of insider trading. Isn't that rich? They're all crooks. Trump, Pelosi, all of them. They're all insider trading crooks. But they play the blame game, the Spider-Man meme, pointing the fingers. Can America, I know it's a very hard concept to grasp. Can America, I don't think they ever will, because we love tribalism to play the game of my team won. Can we wrap our brain dead minds around the fact it's all government, it's all a crime syndicate, it's all protection racket run against we the people for the oligarch elites, with the puppet politicians acting as our representatives? Can we wrap our mind around these facts? It seems impossible, even though it's basic and naked, that it is indeed a protection racket being run against us law-abiding citizens over here. But people just can't seem to grasp it. It's truly mind-blowing to me at this point. We'll go over a little bit about the outrage over Sydney Sweeny. Oh my God, she's a Nazi eugenicist. So we'll go over that a little bit. The idiocy of that. A little bit Epstein news. We're not going to let Epstein news die on this show. We're going to cover Epstein something about it every damn day until Congress comes back into session, because it needs to be covered like that, because they don't want us to talk about it. We're going to keep talking about it even more here at Weaponized News, and keep bringing up the Trump connections as well. MAGA, freaking retards. We got a new CDC director confirmed by the Senate today. Other public health news: they're rolling out liability protection now in this appropriations bill that's going through Congress. Liability protection for pesticide manufacturers, so they can just poison the food supply. At what point? At what point do we do something? But Americans are fat, dumb, and stupid, I guess. On one hand, it's our fault as American consumers, because if we demanded better products, we could speak with our economics and our dollars and force the market that way. But America's too fat, dumb, and stupid to even realize these facts. And so now we're going to be run over by big ag and chemical companies that are going to have indemnity for the poison products they put on the market. It hasn't become law yet, but by all accounts it will, with the corrupt Congress voting on it coming up here in September or thereabouts. So we'll cover that. We are going into straight up technocracy, scientific dictatorship on all fronts. Red alert, red alert. But America's too fat, dumb, and stupid to even care. And so we're on the fringes of society, trying to warn the mainstream here, and it's painful at this point. It's extremely painful to go through this. Most of what we cover here is mainstream news. You just have to go through it and see what they're saying. And the American public refuses to even do that nowadays, is where we're at here. But they're digitizing the healthcare system in front of our eyes. It is called the health technology ecosystem, and it's not good, man. It's part of technocracy, and it's not good. We'll go over that. The White House and the HHS, FDA, they're all rolling it out today with making announcements. We'll cover that. We're making a list here of countries we need to bomb for aardvark land. So far, we got UK, France, Saudi Arabia, and we're going to add Canada to the list here now. It's getting to where it's going to be America and aardvark land against the rest of the world. I don't even know if that would qualify as World War III, but we're getting there. I don't know what. We'll just continue to lie, I guess, and we're going to go ahead and expose their lies, and the rest of the world sees it. So I guess it's just fat, stupid Americans in our propaganda and lie echo chamber over here. Is where we're at with all this. But the genocide continues. I'm going to read you the definition, as all of your shill hack pieces of trash in our neocon, whatever you call them, just lying criminal media here, Mockingbird media, government shill media, as they go out and they continue to say it's not genocide. I'll read you the definition internationally recognized by the United Nations as what genocide is. It is genocide that they're doing there on the Palestinians in Gaza. But they continue to lie and act like you're stupid. Look it up yourself. I challenge anybody, everybody. It just pisses me off the level of lying they get away with, and no pushback. Just, oh yeah, okay. Don't be antiseptic. Get a plumber. We'll cover that. There's reports out there, cracks emerging in MAGA over Aardvark's actions in Gaza. It took them long enough. Even if any of this is true, MTG is saying something. We said like day one of the thing, what was happening there here at Weaponized News. It's just beyond the pale, man. It's beyond the pale. Okay, quickly on this day in history, I already went over. Sorry for the ranting there, Ruckus. On this day in history of July 30th, in the year 1619, this could have been the beginning of the end, I guess, for America here. House of Burgesses in Virginia forms first elected American governing body, 1619. I guess that's the official start of the crime syndicate here in America. Maybe it wasn't as corrupt. I don't know. I didn't live back then. I would levy to say it probably was just as corrupt as today. On this day in 1733, Ruckus, in 1733, Society of Freemasons opens first American lodge in Boston. In 1733, Society of Freemasons opens first American lodge in Boston. 33 came from somewhere, right? 33rd degree, 1733. I don't know. A lot of 33s are adding up here. On this day in 1863, then President Abraham Lincoln issues, quote, eye for an eye order, an order issued by the president to shoot a rebel prisoner for every black prisoner shot. Well, isn't that DEI of Abraham Lincoln back in 1863? In 1878, and I love how they pinpoint a precise day here. I guess this is the official start of antisepticism in Germany. In 1878, on this day, German antisepticism begins during the Reichstag election. So we pinned it down to it's where all the problems started in Germany, 1878 on July 30th. So there you have it. Moving forward in time here to 1956, then President Dwight D. Eisenhower signs a law officially designating, in quote, "In God We Trust" as the national motto of the United States. Again, I asked the question, whose God? What God are they talking about? I don't think it's the God of Jesus of Nazareth of the Bible. I think it's a different God. And I don't know who else could say any different about the actions that this U.S. federal government takes. When they say, "In God we trust," I truly believe it's not the God you think. In 1965, on this day, LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, signs the Medicare bill, which goes into effect the following year. I don't know what we do without, Medicare. In the Rockefeller medicine system. In 1966, on this day, U.S. airplanes bomb the demilitarized zone between North and South Vietnam. Well, we put God we trust on everything. So, I mean, it's perfectly fine, right? In 1990, on this day, 5 Bank of Credit and Commerce members are found guilty of money laundering. Whatever happened to these type of times when bankers were convicted of money laundering? And that was what, 35 years ago? You just don't hear or see such a thing anymore. Too big to jail, too big to fail, I guess. In 2002, on this day, then President George W. Bush signs the Sarbanes-Oxley Act into law, legislation designed to prevent future accounting scandals such as Enron's bankruptcy. And they twist, and they actually uses an obscure interpretation of Sarbanes-Oxley Act to prosecute the January 6th defendants, as odd as all that had turned out to be. And again, yesterday or earlier today, wherever you may be in the world, we saw an 8.8 magnitude earthquake strike off of Russia's Far East Kamchatka Peninsula, triggering tsunami warnings across the Pacific Ocean. Evacuations are underway in parts of Japan and Hawaii, as well as alerts being issued in China, New Zealand, the Philippines, and other island countries. I'd add in, I saw they were issuing tsunami warnings all along the California coast as well. So that happened, but thankfully it doesn't look like that much damage was actually done. And what do we got? Quickly on this day in our of history and our civil liberties, FBI adds KKK to notorious COINTELPRO program. In 1964, on this day, under pressure from LBJ, the FBI on this day added the KKK as a target of its secret and notorious COINTELPRO program. COINTELPRO was a secret FBI operation that included illegal actions such as burglaries and the theft of documents, wiretapping, the forgery of documents, and other efforts to disrupt political targets. Its principal target was the Communist Party, along with some other left-wing groups. Under pressure by LBJ to act on civil rights, the FBI put the KKK under COINTELPRO operations on this day in 1964. In God we trust, indeed. Going back to 1929, on this day, the U.S. Post Office on this day banned from the mails 5,000 pamphlets published by the ACLU on the 1916 Tom Mooney case. Mooney was in prison, convicted for committing a bombing on Preparedness Day in July 1916 in San Francisco. Many labor union activists and civil libertarians argued that he was framed and was persecuted because of his radical left-wing political associations. In barring the pamphlets from the mail, the postmaster stated that statements on the envelope contained phrases such as frame up and terrible indictment that violated the 1924 postal regulations, allowing officials to bar materials that were lewd, obscene, defamatory, or threatening. So there you go. Again, your U.S. federal government is a protection racketeering operation, the largest in the world, organized crime. Here is our tech overlord. Some say he's a lizard, drone, clone, robot, guy wearing a mask, a freaking hologram projection. Who knows? He built Facebook in his Harvard College dorm room, coincidentally the same day that LifeLog by DARPA and the CIA turned off, Facebook went on. Of course, all that's coincidence. He built it in his college dorm room by himself and a few other nerds. Here's Mark Zuckerberg, forgiven for all his censorship, for destroying my social media network on Facebook, personally deleting me off of there. All's forgiven because he's a bro now, and he surfs and drinks beer and puts on a American Eagle costume. Here he is as our segue to get to the rest of the news and ruckus for you. Superintelligence. Let's hear from the Mr. Lizard Android alien, Mark Zuckerberg himself.
All right, ready? Hey everyone. I want to talk about our new effort, Meta Superintelligence Labs, and our vision to build personal superintelligence for everyone. AI keeps accelerating, and over the past few months, we've begun to see glimpses of AI systems improving themselves. So developing superintelligence is now in sight. But there's this big open question about what we should direct superintelligence towards. A lot has been written about the scientific and economic advances that AI can bring, and I'm really optimistic about this. But I think an even more meaningful impact in our lives is going to come from everyone having a personal superintelligence that helps you achieve your goals, create what you want to see in the world, be a better friend, and grow to become the person that you aspire to be. This vision is different from others in the industry who want to direct AI at automating all of the valuable work. At Meta, we believe in putting the power of superintelligence in people's hands to direct it towards what they value in their own lives. Some of this will be about improving productivity, but a lot of it may be more personal in nature. This is going to be a new era in some ways, but In others, it's just a continuation of historical trends. About 200 years ago, 90% of people were farmers growing food to survive. Today, fewer than 2% grow all of our food. Advances in technology have freed much of humanity to focus less on subsistence and more on the pursuits that we choose. And at each step along the way, most people have decided to use their newfound productivity to spend more time on creativity, culture, relationships, and just enjoying life. And I expect superintelligence to accelerate this trend even more. The intersection of technology and culture is where Meta focuses, and this will only become more important over time. If trends continue, I expect that people will spend less time on productivity software and more time creating and connecting. I think that personal devices like glasses that can see what we see, hear what we hear, and interact with us throughout the day are going to become our main computing devices. I believe deeply in building personal superintelligence for everyone. And at Meta, we have the resources to build the massive infrastructure required and the ability to deliver new technology to billions of people. I'm excited to build this future, and we've got a lot more to come soon.
Exciting there, Ruckus. Welcome to Weaponized News this Wednesday.
Thanks. Isn't this what he said like a few years ago about how excited he was about the metaverse and how that was going to change everything? And it inspired him enough to change the name of his company to Meta. Whatever happened with that? I guess he's going to have to change the company again. I shudder to think where all of this is headed. Who is he kidding? He wants to build super intelligence. Oh, he thinks that's going to give everybody free time to connect with other human beings. I strongly disagree. This is where I think Elon Musk has it right. At least he's being honest. This is where technology is leading us. This is what the AI is all about. This is who the people will be communicating with, not with each other, but with the so-called alleged super intelligence that Mr. Zuckerberg is talking about there. But that's fine. If we're going to have an AI girlfriend and boyfriend, husbands and wives, teachers, tutors, doctors, presidents, world leaders, religious leaders, and gods, they might as well be super intelligent, not just that pish-posh, oh, that's so GPT 4.0, they're stupid. Yeah, wild stuff, man. But happy to be here, though, at least until I
Thank
get
you for joining us. Everybody needs to give Ruckus money. He fell off his skateboard. We're here. We're battle wounded. I got shot in the eye with a Nerf gun. He fell off his skateboard, but we still have to bring you the news and break down all these propaganda and lies out there.
This is our fault. What are men our age doing playing around with skateboards and Nerf guns, Sam? What were we expecting, right?
True. Trigger warning.
Doesn't the Bible say about putting away childish things or something?
Well, I wasn't playing with it. I got shot in the eye. I had nothing to do with it. I'm an innocent victim over here.
Me too. I swear, honest.
Okay. Trigger warning for all. I know we have a lot of feminist liberals in the audience. Trigger warning. Kamala Harris has announced that she will not run for California governor. And so I know it hurts, but go in your cry closet or whatever it takes. And we're going to have to get over it and move on and get another corrupt Democrat to run for California governor. Thoughts?
I can't believe this is news.
Thoughts, comments?
I saw that like the New York Times, I get like alerts every once in a while because of emails coming in for various news organizations. And they're like, usually it's a pretty big story where it's like they did one about the tsunami and all that stuff. And it's usually big stuff. But today it was like breaking, Kamala Harris won't run for California governor. And I'm like, who cares? I'm like, well, tomorrow I better find out what Obama had for breakfast at this rate, you know.
It's got me shook. I live over here in California. I had to go in the cry closet for about a half hour.
I think it would be bigger news if she was running. I don't think you need to run a headline the fact that somebody is not doing something. That's the dumbest thing. Like, breaking, Joe Biden is not going to be president again. No kidding. Thanks for letting us know, everybody.
It's big news. Okay, on to the earthquake. I'm sure you guys, everybody saw it. Megathrust fault is what they're calling it out there in the it seems like every time there's a weather event, some type of natural disaster, they come up with a new phrase that sounds scary. According to Reuters, massive Russian earthquake struck on Megathrust fault. 8.8 earthquake there off the coast of Russia. The trigger tsunami warnings across the Pacific.
A Russian earthquake?
Mhm.
Does this mean like when the rest of the world reports about earthquakes that take place in America, they call them American earthquakes? I don't think so. They usually say that the earthquake took place in the said country. I've never heard it. They're trying too hard to associate this with Russia bad, I think, my guess.
Massive Russian earthquake.
Makes
That
no
dirty
sense.
Putin, effing Putin, caused an earthquake now. He's using
Now,
earthquake
there's
weapons.
There's lots of conspiracy theories going around right now that says that somehow the United States was involved in creating this earthquake to damage Russia or to give them a warning message, some sort of dispute over the Commander Islands, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody might want to double check me on this one. But it is clear, I mean, obviously this renews the talk about whether or not people can create earthquakes and tsunamis intentionally. Using various explosive devices and lots of things as a weapon. And famous.
Wait, we'll get there. I got a thread about that.
Okay.
What it calls seismic zone, all this stuff. We got video of it, but I can't really see. I don't even see a death count. I don't think it even killed anybody, as far as I can see. Massive due to massive earthquake that occurred in Pacific Ocean, tsunami warning issued. Trump put out that post on his stupid Truth Social. Whatever, dude. Here's a couple footages. We have a couple footages.
I'm glad he did that. Otherwise, nobody would know about it.
Nobody
right?
would know. They would just have to wait and get hit by a big old wave. Here is Nature Knows. The birds know. Here are birds shortly before the event, recorded in Southern California. Let's take a look at this short clip. I don't even know if we could link it to it, but what the hell? I do believe that nature does know. Here's some drone footage of the aftermath in bloody Russia. This is the port of Kursk in Russia following the tsunami. Looks like a little bit of damage here. No audio on this clip. Some drone footage. Yeah, they got hit with a pretty big wave there from a tsunami. But honestly, I wasn't even really paying attention, honestly, at when it actually happened. Yeah, pretty bad, I guess, there. But
thank goodness these drones don't have microphones. Have you heard those things? They're loud and annoying. Yeah.
Okay, what else do we got on it? The damn Putin caused it. Let's see. Volcano. It caused a volcano to erupt. Russia's Klaykliskovi volcano starts erupting after earthquake. And so how much should we be charging this volcano carbon taxes? Probably. Here's a little bit, really bad image of it, but I don't know, Newsweek said it. Maybe it's fake news, I don't know. But according to Newsweek, that's footage of the old volcano erupting there. Here's a little bit better image in the background. They should have gotten closer. I don't know why they were afraid of getting up close to this erupting volcano. But there's an image a little bit closer of it. So what else do we got about it? It beat some whales in Japan. So I guess that's damage.
のは情報が入っていませんけれども、千葉県館山市の海岸、クジラが打ち上げ
But still really not that much. Let's see. Thankfully, Oprah opens Maui Road to help residents flee after tsunami warning. So see, she has a heart after all. New York Times told us. Remember after the debacle, her and The Rock begging for money for the Maui fires? And they're
They
like,
had to give it back.
and the interwebs are like, you guys are billionaires. Why are you asking us for money? But which was a good point.
I'm pretty sure they gave it back.
That's good. After
But only
pressure,
because everyone was mad.
after pressure from the interweb saying you guys are billionaires, why are you asking us for money? Okay. 3 new countries warned, brace for tsunami waves after enormous undersea earthquake. Yeah, and thankfully it really wasn't that bad. Tsunami evacuations ordered in South America, but worst risk appears to pass, according to the AP, and so they would know. And yeah, thankfully, here's images off that port. Here's people. I believe this was Japan evacuating on the roof. Yeah, kind of scary at the time when you don't know what's going to happen, and the government says there's tsunami warning. That's kind of scary. Living along the coast there, tsunami warnings in U.S. downgraded after massive quake. So thankfully, it wasn't that bad.
It was such a large quake, and not, clearly not every earthquake. The recipe has to be just right to get in a tsunami from an earthquake. It has to do with the depth of the earthquake. If I'm not mistaken, this one was shallow, like 13 feet or something like that. Don't quote me on any of this. I'm just going from memory here. But I do know it was a rather large tremor. The size of the earthquake, the magnitude is rather large. We haven't seen something like that since the Japan thing. Remember that, of course, with the nuclear power plant. And what's shocking is that usually after these types of things, we're seeing the video of the devastation, the destruction. There's usually like a mass humanitarian need and, loss of life and other concerns. It seems pretty quiet. And I'm concerned about that because, I do live in a world where I believe that if there was something really, really nasty going on, they wouldn't tell us about it because they don't want us to panic. So it seems like they're downplaying this, and that has me a little worried. So we'll wait and see. They say that the worst has passed us right now, at least until we wake up tomorrow and we find out, well, turns out it's kind of like my skateboard injury. I thought it wasn't as bad right after it happened, but I gave it a day, 2 days, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like a truck hit me, like quite literally. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if they can want to spin this somehow, if it's useful to them for a narrative and an agenda. And I would encourage everyone, if they haven't yet, to read Michael Crichton's book, State of Fear. The plot revolves heavily around a man-made created tsunami, among other things, all in the name of making people afraid of climate change in order to exert control and taxes over them. Weird. I wonder, it's strange that he died mysteriously of a bizarre cancer not long after writing that book. Odd.
Odd indeed. And that was a novel. Here's a real life conspiracy guy extraordinary and piano player extraordinary. Foundering put together a thread here on X, and he says artificial earthquakes. And let's just go through that a little bit here. He says on October 17, 1989, the Loma Prieta earthquake struck California. Says I was 5 miles away from the epicenter and remember it vividly. Said I was 4 years old. But was the quake entirely natural? Does it follow a pattern of unusual events? Was it artificially induced? Well, that just sounds like conspiracy to me, Ruggles. Do you even have the capability to artificially induce earthquakes? For decades, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Breeden blew the whistle on scalar weaponry wielded by major world powers waging large-scale covert wars with exotic tech while using Mother Nature as plausible deniability. I don't know. And he posted a whole 2-hour documentary about it. I don't know. 1908, he talks about an explosion in Russia flattened over 800 square miles. The bizarre Tuskaga blast still mystifies to this day. Was it an early example of Tesla's death ray? I don't know. This guy, Japanese Colt, was accused in 1994 of a sarin gas subway attack. Was heavily armed immersed in Tesla research focused on resonating frequencies in connection with the artificial creation of earthquakes. Who's it? Uma Shinkurio successfully tested their weapon in 1993. Had built a facility at the remote Bon Arn Station in Australian outback. On May 28, 1993, a bizarre seismic disturbance was detected and has never been officially explained. 1995, 5,000 were killed in Kobe, Japan during the Great Hanshin earthquake. 1 week earlier, Shoko Ashihara warned a major earthquake would soon occur at Kobe, initiated by foreign power utilizing electromagnetic weapon systems. How did he know? They had their own Tesla. Science minister, said to be the most intelligent Japanese who ever lived, in April 1995, claimed that Kobe quake was an attack. 2 weeks later, he was assassinated. Another one of those coincidences, Ruckus. Japanese police stood and watched as he was murdered. Oklahoma City bombing, was similar tech used in Oklahoma City? What about the Perth fireball? Atmosphere above Japan rapidly heated before M9 earthquake. Hugo Chavez claimed tectonic weapons caused the 2010 Haiti earthquake that killed over 100,000 people. The Wikipedia page for ultra low frequency electromagnetic waves lists 2 anonymous quakes in Haiti and Loma Prieta in 1998. I don't know, man. He lists some stuff there. What do you think? Was this all just this is all just Putin, right?
No, I don't think it was Putin at all. In fact, I do believe that if it was man-made, it was aimed against Putin. Something like that. I don't. Sam, let's face it. Just because they can doesn't mean they will. Okay. Kind of like you know how a lot of world powers have nuclear weapons. Just because we have nuclear weapons doesn't mean that we're going to use them. I hope to God not. The one thing in his thread that I thought stood out as being different from the rest was, of course, the Tunguska event. I can never say that right. Tunguska. The ancient alien people like to use that as they're like, oh, this is evidence that ancient aliens were causing shenanigans back in the day, or whatever.
1908, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think it was UFO. I think it was just space debris. There's a lot of things outside our world we don't quite understand just yet. But yeah, I think the guy's onto something, Foundering, for sure. I saw that thread earlier too. It's a good one.
See, our audience agrees. TV told me Putin equals bad, so true. Yeah.
I also heard a rumor, I don't know if anyone knows this is true, but in order to create an earthquake, you must use a very specific frequency, a very specific number, and you'll never guess what that number is, Sam. I think it's 33.
Again, for those tuning in late on this day in history, the first Freemason lodge officially established in America here in Boston in 1733 on this day. 1733.
Just a coincidence.
They do love their 33s, that is for sure. Okay, on to what do we do with the White House today? Trump's up to no good. He's signing a lot of executive orders. He signed, well, this is actually a law, VA home loan reform program that was signed into law today by Trump. little bit about it. The VA Home Loan Program Act, H.R. 1815, was signed into law today by President Trump. It establishes a permanent partial claims program allowing the VA to purchase a portion of a veteran's delinquent loan up to 25 to 30% of the balance and defer missed payments to the end of the loan term, aiming to prevent foreclosures without full government buyouts. The act replaces the Biden-era VA Servicing Purchases Program, which was criticized for lacking congressional authority and costing taxpayers $5.48 billion on 17,000 loans. Additional provisions include permitting veterans to directly compensate real estate agents, increasing annual funding for grant and per diem program for homeless veterans from $258 million to $344 million through 2026, requiring the VA to report on strategies to ensure veterans are not disadvantaged in home purchases. While the legislation received bipartisan support, that's a bad sign right there, and aims to protect an estimated 61,000 veterans at risk of homelessness, it has drawn opposition for being short-term patch that may perpetuate systemic issues in housing affordability and VA loan servicing. Well, I guess it's better than nothing. Sounds decent. I don't know. Maybe they're
what was the bill number? 1815? Was that it?
HR 1815.
As in 1815 and 18 plus 15, anybody? 33.
Oh, damn. Oh, man. Today, Trump issued a signed executive order addressing threats by the government of Brazil. Those damn Brazilians, Portuguese down there. Lula, the president, leading up BRICS, coincidentally, and safeguarding U.S. interests, imposing an additional 40% tariff on Brazilian imports, declares a national emergency to address Brazil's policies that violate human rights. Isn't this rich? As we back Aardvark land in open genocide here now, that the rest of the world is finally coming around to admit. But hey, what the hell? Brazil violates human rights too, I guess. But pretty rich coming from the White House here. The king of Aardvark land, self-declared, Donald Trump. Executive order signed today. The United States, they also went after this judge. Remember this guy? This guy was pretty villainous looking. I think this is all for show. This judge, Supreme Court Justice out of Brazil, Alexandre de Morosas. If you remember this guy, I forget even what he was doing. He did something. I think he was going after Twitter at the time.
He was doing a remake of Nosferatu. No, yeah, he was the one that went after Elon Musk during the heydays, not long after Elon bought the X platform and renamed it and all that fun stuff. Yep, the guy certainly looks like a vampire or something straight out of a comic book. It's weird. You know what he reminds me of? Remember the old Stephen King series based on a book, Salem's Lot? There you go.
Well, the United States has directly sanctioned him. They say here now, that is the Bureau of Western Hemispheric Affairs. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But there it is, their official X account with a gray check mark. There you go. Who even knew we had such a bureau? It tells you the government's too damn big. They say
I
here,
follow them.
Yeah, do you? Bureau of Western Hemispheric Affairs? I guess we should. They say the global under the global Magnitsky sanctions program, they're going to go ahead and sanction this villainous looking character, Brazilian Supreme Court judge, and Trump has issued a national emergency over it. So things are escalating here with Brazil, it appears.
This is over BRICS, right? Because that's
over
all
BRICS and over the persecution of Bolsonaro.
They don't care about that. This is all about the BRICS thing.
Trump has said as much. It's an attack on the dollar. what else out of the White House? He did a few other things. He slapped tariffs on India today as well as part of BRICS, it would appear. And then he had this to say, well, Small Business Association, it's I'm going to tie all this together, okay? Led now by Secretary Kelly Loeffler, who, those that can remember, I know that's a conspiracy to have a memory, but going back to the good old days of the medical intervention, she was a very large profiteer that profiteered off insider information, knowing what the policies were going to be, and made a whole lot of money. And now she was former senator, I want to say, out of Georgia, some southern state. Georgia, I want to say, maybe not. I want to say Georgia. Anyway, this woman right here, a pandemic profiteer to the nth degree, and now she's the secretary of the Small Business Administration. And so I wanted to tie that in with also, let's celebrate their 72nd birthday here now. I don't even want to play her clip from that corrupt woman, but it ties into this, where Trump is accusing Nancy Pelosi of insider stock trading. Well, Congress passed a law making it legal, so he should be actually addressing Congress to change the law. But we're going to play the blame game, and it's always fun to throw a Democrat out there to get the Republicans and the conservatives fired up about, oh my God, insider trading. Where your Republicans do the same thing. So
I like it conceptually, and Nancy Pelosi became rich by having inside information. She made a fortune with her husband, and I think that's disgraceful. So in that sense, I'd like it, but I'd have to really see I study these things very carefully, and this just happened. So I'll take a look at it. But conceptually, I like it. And what I do think is Nancy Pelosi should be investigated, because she has the highest return of anybody practically in the history of Wall Street, save a few. How did that happen? It happened by she knows exactly what's going to happen, what's going to be announced. She buys stock, and then the stock goes up after the announcement's made. And she ought to be investigated.
All of them are doing it. All Trump's cronies did it. He says, oh, I'm a tariff, whatever. He knows the words he speaks moves the market. He sets it up. They knock it down. It's just so tiring at this point. They're all in on it. And then here's Pelosi's response on CNN. She needs to probably retire at this point. She's getting pretty up there in age.
Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about the 60th anniversary of Medicaid. That's what I agreed to come to talk about.
Yeah, but I wanted
what that means in the election.
I wanted to give you a chance just to respond. He accused you of insider trading. What's your response to that?
That's ridiculous. In fact, I very much support the stop the trading of members of Congress. Not that I think anybody's doing anything wrong. If they are prosecuted and they go to jail. But because of the confidence it instills in the American people, don't worry about this. But I have no concern about the obvious investments that have been made over time. I'm not into it. My husband is, but it isn't anything to do with anything insider.
Wow. She's just a little bit guilty there. Anyone could tell you that. If you know nothing about the history of her or her husband, right then and there, you'd be like, oh, yep, that lady's guilty as sin. Wow. Way to go, Nancy. How dare you ask me a question as a public figure? That's not what I came here for. I came to promote my book or whatever.
No Medicaid anniversary.
Yeah, I know, but I hate those people who are always like that. How you're going off script. Yeah, because life is not supposed to come with a script, people. This is where journalism fails. They need to do this more often. They need to make their guests uncomfortable, catch them by surprise, not have them prepared any way, shape, or form, and just get the raw, actual, the realness of it. But no, everything is a staged fight. It's all wrestling. That whole thing was probably staged. It looks like we caught her we caught her with the panties down. But no, they probably did that on purpose too. This is all ridiculous. And the insider trading thing, come on. Trump, he said, like, oh, I know all sorts of my friends made a bunch of money. He got caught saying that the other day. It's absolutely garbage. He's like, oh, I
He
think
said
that's
all
a
my
shame.
friends made billions and laughed. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I didn't make billions. I'm out of my beans. My bean supply from Y2K are gone.
Okay, next story here. What do we make of is Sydney Sweeny a Nazi eugenicist? That's all the stories. I just searched it right now. The headlines, Sydney Sweeny is starring in a new, we have the commercial, but she's being accused because they do a play on words, and she's advertising blue jeans, like Levi's, right? But I guess it's Eagle or something. I don't even think I heard
Is
the
this
brand.
why I'm seeing pictures of Trump and everybody wearing blue jeans in a weird ad? Okay.
American Eagle, right? Here's the ad that has another fake moral outrage. They're claiming this is a call for white supremacy, Nazi eugenics.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeny has very jeans.
You see what I did there, right? Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeny has very jeans. Sydney Sweeny has very jeans. Sydney Sweeny has very jeans.
I think you get the point. Is that a call for white supremacy, Ruckus?
That's a cry for help. I'm a marketing guy, and I've been studying commercials and advertising for a very long time. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably the worst ad campaign I have ever seen.
But it's got him attention because some left-wingers said that it was white supremacy, and that's what has caught the.
Well, they might be onto something. They might. I hate to say that, but that was not a successful way to sell jeans. If they were trying to like create some sort of outrage porn to be politically divisive, maybe that's the ultimate goal of this dumb commercial. The jeans she's wearing, none of it is flattering on her whatsoever. She's obviously a very attractive woman. I've seen a lot of outrage over that. I'm not very familiar with who she is. I had to look it up. I've seen a lot of people making comedic references to the fact that their teenagers haven't, since the ad came out, they haven't left the bathroom kind of thing. I'm like, okay, great. So she's hot and sexy and all that stuff. And it's Victoria's Secret catalog kind of, ooh. And I'm like, but we live in the world of the internet and you can look up. I mean, you don't even, it's crazy, bro. So I don't know what the outrage is. I think that they manufactured this to create manufactured outrage, and that's why. Otherwise, I thought, oh, well, that's a clever play on words. But I see now, I think this was designed on purpose to be divisive. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And it's just a terrible ad, probably written by ChatGPT or Grok or something like that.
And for all we know, they staged up the fake lefty outrage just to drum up.
And it might
more
not even
publicity.
have been her. That could have been a deep fake Sydney Sweeny. Was that her name, right? Sydney Sweeny.
Could be nowadays. Who freaking knows? Okay, so we had to address that. Apparently, it's a thing. I don't know. It's probably a psyop just to drum up, because as they say, all publicity is good publicity, right? And so nobody would even care, but then create some controversy behind it, and then now everybody wants to know what it's about. And so we played it here on Weaponized News for you.
I can't remember ever hearing this woman's name before today. I'm just saying. So I'm like, hey, it's working. Now I have to go see who this is. What she is. I'm assuming she's an actress. Just a wild guess here.
She is an actress. It's been in a few movies and like
I don't watch movies anymore.
HBO shows, I think. Okay, Denver says the target audience is Americans. Americans are fat. Americans demand loose-fitting jeans. There, solve the mystery of the ad appeal.
They did look comfortable. I'm not saying that. They just didn't look flattering to her figure. That's all. Everybody's calling them mom jeans, and I think that's the best way to describe them. They did have that look.
The jeans reference, and she's blonde hair, blue-eyed. They say it's a call for Nazi eugenics, white supremacism and I just don't see it there, but I don't know. Putin's bad though for that earthquake. I do know that. Okay, let's move on to Dropkick Murphy band played a video of Epstein and Trump in the backdrop of one of their recent shows. They're not letting it go either. We're not letting it go. Don't let it go.
I love it. This is why punk is my kind of music. They're still to this day the only ones who aren't afraid to be against government and anti narrative and make political statements that are not popular. That's good stuff right there. I'm not the biggest Dropkick Murphys fan. They're all right, but I love that punk spirit, and they're willing to do that.
I never even heard of them. Now I am a fan. I think I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, they've been around for a while.
But see, the problem for me with lefties is that they've been hating Trump for all the wrong reasons, in my mind. And I'm like, I got a bunch of other reasons the why you should really be hating them, but it's none of that. It's all this fake theater they put out there, political theater that they hate him over. Has been my issue with it. That it's fine and well and dandy, you hate them, but hate them for the right reasons. And we're starting to get there. Like 10 years down the road, they're finally catching on. Oh yeah, by the way, him and Epstein were good buddies, neighbors, as a matter of fact. Oh, but he threw him out after he took one of his underage girls working at his club. I don't know. That was very sketchy what Trump came out with yesterday. Mediaite says Trump blew himself up with new revelation. Epstein stole sex abuse victim from Mar-a-Lago. He didn't really put it in those terms, but he did say that she was working there and Epstein purged her. That is Virginia Giuffre, amongst others. And he claims that is what caused the fallout between him and Jeffrey Epstein, was essentially he was stealing his young girl workers from Mar-a-Lago there in Florida. Ruckus.
I'm not buying this one. This is getting worse. They're just digging a deeper hole. I don't know who's running this fallout. What's it called when you
cover up?
Damage control. There
damage
we go.
Control, cover up.
Whoever's writing the script on the damage control is doing slightly less better than the person who did the American Eagle Outfitters ad.
AI did it for sure. Chuck Schumer fears that a foreign adversary could have hacked the Epstein files, and so none of it can be none of it's legitimate.
Probably Russia.
It was Putin, of course. He encouraged Trump to release the Epstein files if no national security was at risk, and so of course, here's your national security card, Trump. Schumer, the Palestinian, just handed it to you. So now all you got to say is it's a threat to national security. Sorry, case closed. And that's what we see the government continue to do on numerous controversial issues, is just cite national security, and it's over. And it's game over.
There is that element hidden in the mythos, the lore of the Epstein thing that cannot be ignored. They just don't discuss it openly in the mainstream. But the Aardvark land attachment to all of that, right, because of their intelligence agency. Wouldn't it be perfect? I'm just putting it out there. Trump, I hope you're listening. I got a good idea for you guys. Okay. Here's what you need to do. You need to somehow convince the American people that the Epstein files are in reality and have been from their beginning Hamas propaganda funded by Iran. And we're good to go, man. Let's do it.
It could work. It may very well work. We got a couple more Epstein stories, then we'll take our break here. USA Today, they're not letting it go. We're not letting it go. It finally has broken the mainstream consciousness, it appears here. She's inmate number 02879-509 in Florida. But once again, Ghislaine Maxwell is holding court. The tofu has no seasoning. The tofu has no seasoning. There's no seasoning allowed. No salt or pepper, anything. So it's beyond tasteless. I saw her appeal to the Supreme Court was denied today. I just thought that was a funny headline. They named her number there. Here's one, fresh hell. What else do we got? Epstein, Maxwell, grand juries did not hear directly from victims. Prosecutors tell judges. It's like they want to retry this whole thing. They probably should, with Comey's daughter being the prosecutor there, very suspect indeed, in the Diddy case and in the Maxwell case. And so maybe the whole thing does need to be retried here now with, can we get an honest government prosecutor? I have serious doubts.
But we'll get one for the Pelosi investigation.
Let's take our live commercial break here now. Don't let, over this month and however many days that Congress is on break, don't let the Epstein story die out there, because they're going to try to distract us this way, that way, and the other way. That is a very big story that we can't let die here and go the way of the next PSYOP and current thing. Okay, go to weaponizednews.com, get yourself some stickers over there, the holograph sticker, the white background sticker, and the clear sticker. Put it on your laptop, your bumper, your guitar, your work locker, your cyber truck. Help spread the word about Weaponized News. Help support the broadcast over here. You can donate on Weaponized News right there. Donate button right on the front of the website. Go to our store, buy some stickers. We have some books over there, other products. Help support independent reporting and analysis that we do here at Weaponized News. Next week, again, I'll just announce it now because I need to start plugging it. Next week, I'm going to be broadcasting this press conference. Where's the flyer for it? Here's the flyer. And so I'll be bringing you live coverage that no one else, along with the Children's Health Defense Fund, that no one else will be bringing you. So exclusive coverage of this press conference next, I believe it's next Friday. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, next Friday, August the 8th. Landmark lawsuit, Spencer versus Community Medical Centers. And it's to honor all those injured and killed by hospital protocol and the miracles from cradle to grave. And so that will be in Clovis, California. I will be broadcasting it live for you here on Weaponized News and Children's Health Defense. And so a little bit of donation to help me out with some gas money. I would like that a lot. And so we have that to look forward to. And again, tomorrow we'll be interviewing Michelle Spencer, the whistleblower nurse, a true public health hero, here about that and what's going on in public health. Okay, Ruckus, go ahead and plug.
Yeah, sure. Head on over to Alternate Current Radio. That's where you'll find the stuff that I do. There is Daily Ruckus and Ruckus Among Us stuff up there, or Roundabout Ruckus, whatever I'm calling it these days. But you'll also find me doing stuff with my colleagues in the Boiler Room and Sunday Wire. You'll also find links to my Twitter account and my Buy Me a Coffee and all of those things. So there you go. Reach out to me if you need help. You're a local business owner and you need a website. I've been doing a lot of that lately. Hit me up. That's it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to the new head of the CDC. Here she is. Confirmed by the Senate today. Dr. Susan Manarez PhD. Aren't we lucky?
You say she?
That's a she, I think, officially claiming,
All right.
not a they, them, or he, her, or it and that, or however it goes. Not a Dr. Dick Levin.
You never know these days.
You never know, but this one's officially claiming to be a woman, and I don't think there's any confusion about it. But also a transhumanist, apparently. So I don't know. She stretches. She's an AI expert. So we always appreciate that. Apparently, is what, and she has experience leading large agencies. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head some of the.
Can you tell me her qualifications having anything to do with safety and health or chemicals, anything like that? Anything related to what she's going to be doing? Diseases, anything like that?
Well, in her little bio, the CDC published, they said she brings decades of distinguished experience in health innovation, disaster preparedness, global health, and biosecurity.
So she was like, what, she ran their social media account or something?
She has led efforts to prevent disease and respond to domestic and global health threats, advancing Secretary Kennedy's mission to make America healthy again. There we go.
Maybe she designed some raffle tickets or flyers or something. Where is the fact that she was a pharmacist? How many years of college? How much does she know about science? What's her medical background again? Oh, that's right. I'm guessing none of these things. Yeah, she's like a project operator, CEO, operational type of thing. It's all more about the organization and the company and advertising and branding and all of that stuff, and nothing to do with what the role should be.
Propaganda and lies, yeah. And so that's exactly what we know and love from our CDC. But I did see reports she's heavy in AI, and that is going to be the theme going forward here now.
I did notice, however, this is a positive. She does not have a bizarre past like Tony Fauci did, involving lots and lots of shadiness in and outside of pandemics. So that's a good sign.
What is it? Section 453 is a provision in the fiscal year 2016 Interior, Environmental, and Relation Agencies Appropriation Bill. They make it sound as boring as they can, so you don't look at this stuff, which funds agencies like the EPA. It was advanced by the U.S. House Appropriations Committee last week. This bill marked up as a full committee process, including various riders and limitations on how funds can be used. The long and short of it is, in this provision, it gives indemnity to big chemical, big ag for the toxins in pesticides. And so they will have the same indemnity that the miracle makers have from the 86 Act. They will have it for spraying the poisons directly on your food here now. And you will have no recourse against them. And
that could easily be extended to the genetically modified mosquitoes that are being released in the wild, et cetera, yeah?
It's specifically Section 453 of the Appropriations Bill specifically addresses restrictions on EPA actions related to pesticide regulation under the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Roticide Act. And so they're going to be liability free. And so because we've seen Monsanto essentially sued out of existence due to glyphosate causing non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, amongst other health issues, as has been ruled by civil juries across the country. So that basically put them in a position where they had to be, merged essentially or bought out by Bayer. And so now Bayer is bearing the brunt of these lawsuits over glyphosate. And of course, they said, we can't have this anymore. So we won't poison your food anymore if you don't give us indemnity. And so we do love our poison food here in America. And of course, the regulatory agencies at the EPA and others that are tasked with keeping our food supply, the food, water, air safe. They sign off on all of this. And so they are lobbying for and probably will get indemnity for the pesticides, diquat, amongst others, 200 times more toxic than glyphosate. And so they know they're getting ready to turn the dial way up on the toxicity. Hey, we're going to get sued out of existence over here, guys. You got to give us liability protection, Congress.
What's their justification for this? This isn't like the makers of the miracle juice, which saved the planet, obviously, and so we had to protect those people just in case something bad happened. Thank God nothing bad happened related to their product. Whew. See, there was no reason for them to escape indemnity. They were guiltless. Everything was fine, perfectly safe and effective. Why are they doing it like this? How come we don't do this for everybody? Why don't we do this for automakers? You know what? I bet you Boeing would probably appreciate.
Every company should just lobby for state protection. Why not just say we're full on communists and just admit it?
Why does the local restaurant need to be bothered by the health department? We should just give them, like, hey, if somebody comes in and eats your food and it's because the guy forgot to wash his hands and you got sick and died, oh well.
Cockroaches, rat shit, you name it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fine. Hey, you got indemnity. You got indemnity. It's fine. Well, the reason is they can't feed the world if they don't poison the world first, is the reason. This applies to over 57,000 pesticide products currently on the market. Sense.
We're supposed to eat the bugs, yet they're coming up with a way to give the companies protection for killing the bugs. This is not good. This doesn't make any sense. Which is it? Do we eat the bugs? Do we kill the bugs? Which one?
We eat poison bugs, I guess.
Perfect. It's like Reese's peanut butter, chocolate, two great tastes come together.
It's also going to shield efforts to try to do something about the forever chemicals, the PFAS. And so big chemical, big ag working together there to go ahead and keep us poisoned up real good, liability free. And so if you and I, Ruckus, went out and poisoned the well, poisoned our neighbor, poisoned anybody, we're going to get, life in prison, most likely, real long prison sentence. These guys get nothing but reward, no risk. Imagine being able to put a product on the market with no risk, all reward, and you're fulfilling the eugenicist depopulation agenda.
Even if your product winds up inside the testicles of every living person on the planet, you're safe. It's okay.
It's perfectly fine. It had to be done. So we need to keep an eye on that and track it. Lobby your Congress. Sandwich Time, a listener out of Nebraska, said that he did. I guess that's about all you could do. I'm still, someday, some way, maybe we'll get the torches and pitchforks. I don't know what it takes. He wrote a letter to his representative. I don't know what else we can do over here. Like, hey man, are you even human? Do you live in this world? You have friends, family, neighbors, and acquaintances that are immune to this? I want the immunity because it's poisoning all of us. Like, what the hell's going on here, dude? Is the money worth poisoning the entire planet, your family, and all your community and the whole world? You know what I mean? It's like,
what, are you some sort of communist? This is like capitalism saying?
Only commies want clean food. I know. It's horrific over here in California. So we need to keep an eye on that. The appropriations bill, as it's winding its way through the Congress, Section 453 in the U.S. House Appropriations Committee right now. And so let's keep an eye on it. I'm sure we'll know when it becomes law. Let's hope it doesn't. But I guess all we can do is write our representative and tell them, hey, man, I don't want poisoned food. And if I do get poisoned, I should have the right to seek some type of remedy rather than just go and die and suffer and die, actually, because a lot of these diseases, these cancers are quite horrific that people are catching directly related to these pesticides. Okay, on to it gets worse in public health here today. Here's old head of the FDA. Let's hear from him. when we listen to industry leaders, well, that's who we need to listen to, not the people that you allegedly represent.
So look, there's a lot of things we need to do at the FDA. And so to inform us, we want to meet with executives, with pharma leaders, and we want to hear from them because I believe in listening, and we got to understand where in the user interface is the system broken. We're trying to ask the big questions. Why does it take over 10 years for a drug to come to market? Why do we have idle steps in the entire approval process? Do we really think if you have the cure for breast cancer, there should be long waiting periods where the application is sitting on a desk? Why do we apply? Why do we have people apply after every phase? Preclinical IND, phase 1, phase 2. Can we run more continuous trials? So when we listen to the CEOs, we learn so much. Like one of the big pieces of feedback that's come up in the other 4 CEO listening sessions has been communication. If they can have a couple 15-minute calls with the scientific team, that can save them a year of guesswork. Yeah. So we don't want the FDA to be a black box. That's why we're releasing all of our decision letters so people can see exactly how the review team thinks. Because markets want predictability and the companies want
naked fascism. So that's nice with the transparency.
What about with the markets? See?
What about what the people want? Oh yeah, we're going to talk directly to big pharma CEOs and everything's going to be great. What? I thought you represented the people. No, apparently not. I was mistaken. My naivete is waning here. Okay, the big news of the day in public health. Where is it here now? I had it lined up. AP has a threatening headline. Trump administration is launching a new private health tracking system with big tech's help. That doesn't sound good. And what is this all about, you may ask? Well, it's all about the old this right here from Trump. Trump's new initiative to make electronic patient health records more accessible. I don't know what could go wrong. Let's hear from Trump himself with this. Of course, it would never be hacked, 100% HIPAA compliant, as they say.
Easily transmit information from one doctor to another, even if they're different networks and using different record-keeping systems. No matter what system they use, they're all transferable. The new standards will also make it simple for patients to access their own personal health records. I don't want to see mine, please. I don't want to see. I don't know about you. They have all sorts of things, sir. They can tell you exactly what your problem is going to be in 6 years. We can do it. You know, they have all these different things. I don't know if they work or not, but I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. If they got a problem, I don't want to know about it right now. But it is amazing what they're doing. I don't know. Does it actually work? Can they do that? All right. Well, then I'm glad I said I don't want to know. But thanks to this announcement, healthcare providers across the country will also finally be able to kill the clipboard. It's an expression that's used, capital, with a capital C, kill the clipboard. Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button. Just a button and you're all set, and all the information the doctor needs will be immediately transmitted. The system will be entirely opt-in, and there will be no centralized government-run database, which everyone is always concerned about. I'm less concerned than anybody. I say whatever it is. But people are very, very concerned about the personal records. They want to keep them very quiet, and that's their choice. I think it's a great thing because it'll be absolutely quiet. Instead, doctors and patients will always remain in control. The benefits to millions of Americans will be enormous. We will save time, we will save money, and most importantly, we'll save lives. It's just going to make people live longer and be a lot healthier. I think that's really what you're looking to do.
What the? Trump don't care if it's centralized database on you. What's the big deal about that? Government's never abused its power against the people, right? Has it?
I don't think people are concerned about what the government knows about their health. That's not the issue. The issue is this data is sold to advertisers and drug makers. who then inundate you and get you hooked in, and you're your own personal drug dealer who knows everything about you, what you like for the uppers, what you like for the downers, how much you can afford, what day of the week is good to give you bad news, what day of time it is to get the good news, how many lumps of sugar you take in your coffee. It's not about the government. They don't care about this information. That's what I believe. But it's very strange that they're pushing it, because this is all about big tech. This is all part of that warp speeding, the wearable technology. And for it to be decentralized and to do all of the things that he's discussing, it would have to be a blockchain technology type of system. And also what he's discussing, even though he says it's opt-in, is basically it's a universal digital ID.
That's where it's all heading. That's where it's all heading. And
the
social credit score.
The passport, the digital passport that everyone was so railing
against. Their BS system is going to tell you how much you have to pay for health insurance based on all the data they've gathered on you. And it's just more racketeering is what it is.
That's the other big one. That's the one you don't want knowing everything about you is your insurance company.
It's racketeering.
Because they could say, well, thanks to this weird black box AI technology, we know that in 7 years you're going to develop gout. So even though you want XYZ insurance now, we're going to refuse you because of what we know is coming for you in the future. Yeah, that's not good.
Here's old Dr. Oz at CMS. He says, making health tech great again. Let's watch this clip. No audio on it. Data networks. You know you want yeah. Oracle. It's a freaking nightmare. It's a nightmare, and they're selling it as a great solution here now. United Health, everybody loves them, and their CEO.
Kill the clipboard.
Google, everybody wants Google involved in your health.
Ooh, Samsung. I like Samsung.
Yeah, and their TVs that spy on you.
I have their earbuds. They can probably register my heartbeat or something.
And so
Open AI. Did you see that one? Yeah. Oh, because these are the conversational AI assistants. That's right. Why talk to a doctor when you can talk to an AI? Yeah, way to go.
Pretty awesome, huh?
It's ridiculous. There's all of the, you need some insurance? Here's the ones. Go here. Yep. They're all plugged into the tech, so like I said, they'll know more about you than you do. Way to go. Let's not do that.
Toby Rogers says on the X, he says that Section 453, which we talked about, the pesticides indemnity, new appropriations bill would shield pesticide manufacturers from liability in U.S. courts. He says it's Armageddon for the food supply. Pesticide makers will be able to add anything to their products and get away with the mass termination of America. Yeah, they wouldn't do such a thing. It's all about...
Not on purpose. I mean, it was an accident.
It's always an accident, and they didn't know any better.
It's probably Putin's fault.
Putin does have a key role in America agriculture here. Okay, the health technology ecosystem is the official name of this. Is a transformative initiative launched by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, as we just saw in that video from Dr. Oz, the leader of that agency. In collaboration with the White House and major tech leaders, it represents a shift towards a patient-centric, interoperable digital health system that prioritizes collaboration over strict compliance, aimed at empowering Medicare beneficiaries with seamless access to their health data, personalized tools, and innovative technology. You trust this thing?
I certainly don't.
top 10 critical points of it. Patient-centric. Where did I have that? I screwed up my deal here. Was it on this one? I think it was this one. Well, drawing from industry insights, generative AI as virtual assistant in your healthcare, AI for complex diagnoses, simplifies procedures like cardiac imaging and early cancer detection, minimally invasive surgeries, advances, integrates imaging for faster recoveries in cardiovascular treatments, unified patient monitoring, open ecosystems, aggregate data for predictive analytics in critical care, hospital at home models, remote monitoring reduces readmissions and eases hospital burdens, expand telehealth, improves access in underserved areas via video and AI-enabled tools, digital parenting tools, wearables, digital parenting tools, they're actually saying this, wearables and apps provide real-time child health insights. Really? Really? Sustainable AI practices, analyzes supply chains to cut waste and energy use. Supply chain collaboration focuses on eco-friendly procurement to reduce emissions. Remember everybody's mask they just threw on the ground, the biggest biohazard in world history. Climate resilient systems builds adaptive infrastructure with renewable energy and warning systems. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome, I think. No?
This is coming from the right.
What? So they're rolling all that out. Get ready for it. Here's old Bobby Kennedy Jr. with Trump at the signing of this announcement.
President Trump, you've asked us to think big, you've inspired us to dream big, and you've enabled us to accomplish things that no other president has been able to do. So I want to thank you for your leadership, for allowing this to happen, and with your leadership, we're going to...
So remember that, MAGA, it is Trump's leadership that has brought about the scientific dictatorship technocracy. Remember that, know it, own it, love it, because it's all right there in your face here now. In the comments, what does Denver say? He says, so you will have cancer, but not yet, so take this poison. See, well, that's a reasonable treatment.
And lo and behold, the side effects may cause cancer.
Yeah, but you can't sue anybody, so that's... Apparently there's a new, they're blaming Crompton, synthetic Crompton 7-OH. American medicine was late to understand the dangers of cigarettes while your doctor recommended them, didn't they? Cocaine, I think at one time they recommended that. Heroin, at one time they definitely recommended prescription opiates and fentanyl. And so listen to your doctor. They know and care about your health. Let's not get blindsided by concentrate 7-OH sold in vape shops popping up across America. And let's hear about it. Now they're saying that it is an opiate type synthetic product, Crompton. Let's hear this press conference. Wait, let me see this real quick from the New York Post. Beware synthetic Crompton. This is our public safety warning announcement here. Synthetic Crompton 7-OH is powering
Kratom.
Kratom?
I know what that is. It's called Kratom. Yeah.
Is powering a new opioid crisis here in America. Let's hear from the press conference about it.
Personal experiences, and with the opioid crisis or the drug epidemic we've had throughout the country, it's affected almost all of us, either directly or indirectly. For us, my wife and I it's affected us directly. You know, unfortunately, we have family members that we love and we want to take care of. And if you've ever dealt with a family member that is struggling with drug use and you're the caregiver of that individual, they go missing for days. And you're worried about your phone ringing. You're afraid to be away from your phone. The phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning, you pick it up because you're afraid to hear what you're worried about 24/7 as they found him dead. And typically it's, hey, I got arrested, I got in a fight, I'm in trouble, got stabbed, can you come get me? The list goes on. And I could give you horror stories of all the phone calls that my wife and I received over the last 20 years. And then when someone goes and they go to rehab and you get out, and because my Lord, we've been to every rehab center you can imagine, and I'm sure some of you guys have experienced the same thing. And they're clean, they're doing better, and they find out they can go to a gas station or a vape shop or a skate shop or a bike shop, and they can find something that's legal for them to take that gives them the same high, and they can still pass drug tests even though they're on probation, and yet it's a road to the same addiction. And you see the pattern, you see it in their face, you see it in their eyes, you see it in their words, you see it in their behavior, and you're going, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Was that an advertisement for this stuff? Like, it sounds pretty good to me. You can't get drug tested. No, but seriously, yeah, there's a giant opiate epidemic. Like you said, I agree. It's touched everybody. I had a guy I went to high school with that I announced on the show, bless his soul, that overdosed as being a opiate addicted person, a junkie. Let's just call it what it is. He turned into a junkie. And he overdosed. And so I knew that guy in high school pretty good, actually. Sad story, hurt his back, as many people. Listened to his, of course, loving doctor, got on the opiates, then couldn't get that prescriptions, went to the street and overdosed on fentanyl and died. And so that happens 100,000 times, and no one here gets in trouble in America from big pharma companies that got them hooked on the prescription pills. The doctors or the manufacturers or anybody criminally gets in trouble at all. They just pay a fine, cost of doing business, move on. Purdue Pharma, Johnson & Johnson, and the like here, Ruckus.
And kratom is one of those things similar to like marijuana, where it's like it's a naturally occurring plant. In this case, it's a tree. I think it's a tropical tree in Asia, Southeast Asia, something like that. But anyways, it's very popular amongst a large.
This is synthetic Crompton, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is why I'm bringing this up. So kratom is a natural remedy thing that is.
Am I saying it wrong? Kratom.
It's called kratom. Kratom. I know what it is. Okay, and there are
you've been doing kratom?
I've never used it, but I do know people personally in my own life, in real life, who do use this stuff on and off. They've said that it's actually very difficult to get off of. The research that I've done into this before leads me to believe it's actually more closely related to the to coffee, to the plants that make coffee, and the stimulants.
It has stimulant effects, include alertness, rapid heart rate. It doesn't sound like opiates are downers.
Right. Well, this is why this one is weird. If you take so in a high dose, this one does have a sedative effect. But in a very low dose. So if you do too much of it, you'll feel like you're high and you just want to fall asleep on the couch. But if you just do a little bit as a supplement, it's like a little energy kick. It's like a little like coffee. You know what I mean? It's nothing severe, and it's just chronic use of it that develops an addiction to it. It's not like some of these other drugs. But the thing is that since it's not regulated, and they don't do the studies on this similar to marijuana, people have to cleverly create these legal synthetic versions of them to then market to the kids or in the gas stations and the bodegas and or out in the streets. And that's where you get into trouble. Whereas if the government just loosened its restrictions on the naturally occurring substances, the medicinal herbs and things, and did some research and science and study about it and advised people on the proper way to use it, we wouldn't have a problem. But again, it's because we want to place laws and labels against drugs while manufacturing and creating drugs to push onto the public to create solutions for their cures to their ailments, which come from more chemicals sprayed on their food in the form of insecticides and whatnot. So it's just a vicious circle, man. It's terrible.
What are they saying? Opiates? AOE is saying opiates are uppers, not downers. They're downers, dude. Have you ever seen anybody loaded on heroin? They're friggin' downers, dude.
It depends on which one it is and the dosage amount. Yeah.
You fall asleep, man. It's called nodding out. There's junkies all over the street nodded out. That's why you see all these people sleeping on the street nodded out, because they're loaded on heroin. Okay, anyway, moving on here. Canada will recognize a Palestinian state in September. Why wait till September? Why not call an emergency meeting of the United Nations today? But over the last week, we've had France, UK, and now Canada, and also Saudi Arabia say they're going to call for Palestinian statehood at the United Nations General Assembly in September. It's an emergency. They're committing genocide, starvation program going on there right now. Why not call for an emergency meeting? I'm sure they can make it happen. But should the United States now be bombing Canada over this, Ruckus? What do you think?
Don't give them any ideas. That would be straight out of that South Park movie, right? Blame Canada. Yeah, I don't know about this. Why do we have to set a deadline there specifically? Yes, we're going to recognize them as a state, but we're not going to do it until 3:05 p.m. on this day and this time. Until then, you're screwed. You're on your own. But after that, you're golden. You just got to wait. Just hang in there. Just 5 more days. You got this. You got this.
It's about a month and a week or something, or a month here. If you don't die in the next month, you may get your own state, or you may just cause World War III.
And does that magically end the starvation? Does that magically end the genocide? Does that magically put a stop to the Greater Israel Project? Or is Israel going to be like, gosh darn it, we were so close, and then this happened. Now that Canada called them a state, we got to back off now. No, absolutely nothing is going to change. Period. Unfortunately.
There were some provisos as announced by Keir Starmer, of course, UK Prime Minister yesterday, that they needed to end the blockade siege essentially on aid there and a ceasefire. And we know that the aardvarks lie about everything. And so they will say there's a ceasefire and keep killing people, as they've done in Lebanon and Gaza before. And so they have a long track record, and it used to be known. I think it's known again. People are starting to notice the sneaky aardvarks can't be trusted. I wonder why.
But what's the argument here? They say, like, why we just don't give them a bunch of free food and medicine and say, oh, Hamas, the terrorists, take it and keep it for themselves. I'm like, okay, I hope so. Let them do that, because with a starving population surrounding you, if you're a terrorist organization inside the country and now you are the ones who are starving your people, they're going to rise up against you, aren't they? So I'm kind of
Hamas. So they would have to.
Well, if they're all Hamas, then they're all going to get fed, right? So this argument is totally fake.
We'll get to
Hamas
some fake
taking the food from them. Get out of here.
We'll get to some more of the fake arguments, but this from Tucker. Here's a good one from Tucker. Let's watch this short clip.
Can you think of any moment in the last, say, 40 years where there was that clash between non-converging interests, where the United States chose its own interests over Israel's interests?
No, I can't think of anything that fits that description.
What the?
I knew what his answer was going to be. I was laughing already. I'm like, no way. Wow. Woo, what can you say? Well, there you have it, folks.
Here you go. More antiseptic behavior by Tucker Carlson.
It has awesome power, and there's no president who is willing to buck the law.
So now the list is growing here. Tucker, this guy, Marsheimer, all need to be sanctioned. We're going to have to bomb UK, France, Saudi Arabia, and Canada now. the list is growing of offenses of antiseptic behavior out there. Ruckus.
Make America isolated again, I guess. Who's left, everybody? Well, it's America and Israel versus the world. Good luck with that. Wow.
Okay, they're saying it's not genocide. Let's go to the official definition from the UN so we can prove to all the liars out there that indeed it is genocide. The term genocide was coined in 1944 by Polish lawyer Ralph Lumpkin, combining the Greek word genos, meaning race or tribe, with the Latin suffix "cide," meaning killing, in response to the Holocaust. Isn't that the irony of this whole situation and other mass atrocities? The official legal definition for all your neocon conservative hacks out there and Christian Zionists that want to deny what's happening, the official legal definition as established internationally comes from the United Nations 1948 Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. According to Article 2 of the convention, in the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such, killing members of a group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. And so there it is right there. And I believe that probably aardvarks check all those boxes on the definition of genocide for you out there on the interwebs to go ahead and cite to your neocon Christian Zionist friends.
But they have indemnity, so it's okay.
They do indeed. And I'll post it. By the way, shameless plug, Weaponized News Substack. Go there and get the show notes for further research. Here's the actual document from the UN. If you didn't think that it was enough for you, I won't read this whole thing, but I'll put the link there, and you can see and you can cite your official documents when you get in arguments with your Zionist friends. Okay, in the last 24 hours, 104, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, were killed in Gaza, and 399 injured in the last 24 hours in Gaza. They're not shooting anybody. The food aid's all wonderful, and there's no genocide going on here. These are not the droids you're looking for. And what in the last since March, you could call it a genocide in the last 3 months. Since March 18th of 2025, there's been now 8,970 killed and 34,288 injured. So you could call it a genocide for the last 3 months. You don't even got to go back to October 7th or back to the founding of Aardvark land, for God's sake. You could just say the last 3 months amount to genocide here now. Quite horrific indeed. Well, with that,
you can, but we don't recommend it.
Oh, it's quite horrific. Let's see if we can get this video to play. These guys have something's up with their feed on the X. Well, let's hear it from a left-wing populist, quasi-socialist communist, Bernie Sanders. He says there's no genocide. I don't know. Maybe we should just throw that UN definition in the garbage. Are we going to get it to play? We can't get it to play. Let's try again. These guys are like throttle bad hotspot. Their videos are always buffering like this. Them and a few other channels I notice have this issue. See if we can get it to play.
You can use whatever word you want.
But Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that she's the first Republican to go there.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So maybe.
Genocide is a legal term. What is going on now clearly is absolutely horrific. 60,000 people dead and 140,000 who have been wounded. But the important point is not what you call it. It is how. And I think the whole world.
That's how he's a senator. He should know he's a lawmaker. We have to use the legal definitions of terms to hold people accountable for their actions. But no, don't worry about that term genocide. It's just, come on, dude.
Maybe we could go with some mandates instead.
Here's this guy just is really, well, the whole crew here is really disgusting. If we can stomach, let's hear Mark Levin says you're filled with anti-Septicism and fake conservative. You're fake conservative if you think aardvark land is starving Palestinians. Yeah. We have UN reports, human rights reports, all these countries recognizing it. But this piece of trash, Mark Levin, is telling you you're not a good American if you don't support it.
Mark, we've been following, obviously, very closely since the events of October 7th, not only the war in Gaza against Hamas, but also the waves of anti-Semitism on campus. We know that Columbia University just agreed to pay $200 million, and Harvard University, under this Trump administration's tenure, is looking like they're going to have to pay substantially more than that because of their failure to protect Jewish students. There's a narrative, though, that we're seeing get a lot of attention, including on the right, by some people that I think you would that people would consider to be either at least Trump supporters, Trump voters, that there's a humanitarian crisis in Gaza that is of Israel's making and intention. We played the U.S. ambassador to Israel addressing that, but I wanted to hear your take on not only what is really going on as you see it over there, but also why are conservatives buying into this?
You know, there's conservatives and there's conservatives, right? There are isolationists who claim to be conservatives, and then there are real conservatives who are conservatives. And the bottom line is this. Why would the Israelis want to starve to death the people in Palestine, the people in Gaza, and have the whole world turn against them? Why would they do that? The Israelis could have blown that little piece of the earth off the face of the earth a long time ago, but they haven't done that. John Spencer, who's an expert in this, he says there's not another war on the face of the earth anytime he looks back, anytime. The country that was attacked is being forced to feed the people of those who attacked them and slaughtered their own people. The Israelis have brought in enough food in Gaza to feed 2 million people every single day. You've got 18-wheelers that are stuck. You've got pallets of food that's stuck. Why are certain conservatives speaking as they are? I don't even call them conservatives, Buck. If you have this kind of anti-Semitism, and that is your view, then there's something wrong with you.
Oh, Mark Levin, the never-ending propaganda. Well, here's, I guess old Ben Gvir is anti-Semitic. He's the most aardvark you could possibly be. And he's admitting, he's saying right here that Ben Gvir admits aardvark land is starving Palestinians. He says resuming humanitarian aid to Gaza is a grave mistake. We can't give our enemies oxygen. So Mark Levin here of American Slop and Disgust is calling the defense minister over there. Is he defense minister? I get them all mixed up. Anyway, we know Ben Gvir, one of our favorite homicidal maniacs.
ההחלטה שהתקבלה אמש במחטף לחדש את הסיוע לכל רחבי הרצועה היא טעות קשה וחמורה. צריך להגיד את האמת לציבור במדינת ישראל. הסיוע הזה שמגיע לכל רחבי הרצועה יגיע גם לידיים של החמאס. זו הסיבה שסירבו לבקשתי להצבעה, זו הסיבה שידעו שיש לי רוב להפיל את ההצבעה הזאת. כל החודשים האחרונים התנגדתי התנגדות חמורה להכניס הומניטרי לרצועת עזה. צריך להסביר לנשיא טראמפ שההומניטרי הזה מסכן את חיי החיילים שלנו. אסור לתת חמצן לאויבים שלנו. ההחלטה שהתקבלה...
So I guess Mark Levin is not on the same page as his Zionist buddies.
And his pal there, Buck Sexton, I believe is his name, yes.
And he's openly admits, quote, former CIA. Are you ever former CIA? He's of course has a big, his radio show replaced the Rush Limbaugh show. For those that don't know that, Buck and Clay, some sports lawyer guy, they're the new quote conservatives that replaced Rush Limbaugh's radio spot.
Well, so CIA, you said, former?
He says, he admits
you never leave the company, they say, right?
He admits he was New York CIA counterterrorism.
All right, so these people in general, that guy at least, I know it was Mark Levin saying the stupid things, but the other guy wasn't helping, about the fact that, so the question was raised, why if Israel wanted to cause devastation and destruction to this group of people, why didn't they just blow them off the face of them? Why instead are we going the route of slow starvation, a torturous, horrible, cruel death? Why on earth would we do that to people that we hate? Why wouldn't we just give them a quick, painless death? Hello? Anyways, just wanted to point that out. Anyways, but he does have a point. Now I'm going to go the other route. That is a damn good question. If Israel truly wanted to just be done with this, so the argument is, well, they don't want to do that because that looks bad. The world would see what Israel did. Oh my God, Israel just nuked this place. Like, hello, it's the same thing, except what you're doing is far worse. So maybe there's a reason for all this. Maybe because generally the average person can't seem to separate the difference between Bible, God, Christianity, and Israel. So I don't know, if I was Satan and I wanted to make God look really, really bad, I would take a whole group of people who claims to be ordained by God and do the most horrible things out in the open so that the entire planet would hate that group of people and also hate God. I hate to play church lady about this, but maybe, just maybe, there is a reason that Israel has decided to starve these people to death and to do the horrible things rather than just wipe them off the planet. Maybe this isn't about the greater Israel project. Maybe there is a satanic agenda to get the entire world angry with God. How's that for a conspiracy theory, people?
That's a pretty good one. I would say probably, and puppeteered by UK intelligence. Well, all of them, UK, Aardvark, and America.
And these people all belong to these weird satanic secret
they're all in secret
societies.
They're all, Freemasons and founded in 1733 in Boston here on this day. And they're all Satan worshipers, dark occultists. So that's a pretty good analysis. I could go with that. And they're just sadistic, evil assholes as well. And they get off on this. So they're gaining power from it internally through it. They're getting a lot of props at their Satan meetings, right? So they really don't care what the rest of the world has to say. It's what the dark occultist elites have to say, and they're getting high fives at all of their Bohemian Groves and meetings like that.
And these people absolutely do blame God and religion for all of the problems. That they believe in a utopian. If we could just kill God, metaphorically speaking, they don't really believe in God. They don't really believe in Satan in general. But they do believe that the biggest obstacle to progression for humanity and science and technology and advancement and all those good things in their mind is all these ass backwards thinking hodunk people. These old people believe in God and the Bible. We got to do something about that. Otherwise, we're never going to progress. This is what they are. This is hidden inside all of these secret societies' teachings. The Freemasons, in particular,
they worship the human intellect and to transcend humanity. Indeed.
So you want to tell me that these really smart people wouldn't try to move some pieces around on the geopolitical stage and tug on people's emotions in order to further an agenda, which might be ultimately to get everybody to just give up on God and faith and religion? I think we're headed there very soon.
Here is State Department Tammy Bruce, who said to go ahead and put Aardvark land first in an interview last month, representing America. She says that Hamas put a baby in a microwave. First I heard of this.
Very quick question. IPC said today what's going on in Gaza is famine. And the reason they didn't classify it as such is because They need the actual data, and they have to be in Gaza to collect that data, which Israel prevent them. So my two questions.
Well, let me just say, as you know, I might, is that there is someone preventing people from getting into Gaza, and that's Hamas. Hamas is preventing everyone from being able to get in there, whether it is reporters, whether it's food deliveries, or those who might need to assess the nature of what's happening on the ground. People are afraid of a terrorist group, the masterminds of October 7th, which slaughtered babies up to the elderly, when they're living, dismembering them, putting a baby into a microwave, murdering women as they're raping them. That set of people are running the Gaza Strip. So women as they're raping them, that set of people are them putting a baby into a microwave, murdering women as they're...
What? She's just making up stuff. Come on, man. Come on, man. I never heard that reported anywhere until she said it right there. Putting babies in microwaves. They don't even have power. How the...
That chick is that is the average person, what they think happened in October 7th without doing any research. This is the result of all the headlines and the things thrown at us, and nobody knows what was true or what wasn't, or was the 40 beheaded baby? No, we had to recall that one. And so, like, ultimately, if you ask the man on the street, like, you know how they used to run around and ask people, like, who's the president? And they're like, Dolly Parton. Oh, I'm so stupid. Yeah, you ask them what happened, they're going to say, oh yeah, Hamas put babies in a microwave. I guarantee you're going to find like 5 out of 10 people saying stuff like that. Weird how that happens.
I guess so. And now apparently Hamas is the problem, and they're all Hamas. But as
we all knew this.
As the IDF commander said way back at the beginning of this whole thing, he said, you cannot kill an idea. Okay. And Hamas is an idea. And so therefore you can kill all the people, and somebody somewhere is still going to be having that idea in their head. And so it's a never ending war on terror, as we've seen here since 9/11. Here's a report about the unbiased New York Times keeps a portrait of Theodore Herzl, the father of Zionism, proudly hanging in their studio. This is shocking indeed. But they're great liberals, don't you know?
But if you look closely in the background as they interviewed the contestants for president, you'll find that photo with some kind of signature on it. I don't know if it's Herzl himself or what. Here too. I like to think that Theodore Herzl, the founder of 20th century Jewish ethno-nationalism, is hovering over the times. So when they describe textbook ethnic cleansing as a Gaza development plan or an audacious proposal or by a real estate developer, he is guiding their hearts.
Wow.
Okay, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. Politico says MAGA is turning on aardvark land over Gaza, but Trump is unmoved. Is MAGA turning on him? I don't know. Let's go to this report by NBC News, and let's see what we think after this. Is MAGA turning on him?
Cracks appear to be emerging among the right in what has historically been unwavering support for Israel. On Monday, MAGA stronghold Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene ramping up her criticism, becoming the first congressional Republican to call Israel's actions in Gaza a, quote, genocide. And she's not alone. Earlier this month, conservative influencers like Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan criticizing Israel's war against Hamas amid Gaza's hunger crisis. Here's Theo Vaughn speaking to TMZ.
Why we're being supportive of the genocide in Gaza, like why are we helping with that? Like I think it's making a lot of people feel really scared. And then why wouldn't we come to the rescue of the people over there?
And now Steve Bannon tells Politico that, quote, Netanyahu's attempt to save himself politically by dragging America deeper into another Middle East war has turned off a large swath of older MAGA diehards. Joining us now, staff writer for The Atlantic, Yair Rosenberg, Semaphore White House correspondent Shelby Talcott, and...
What do you think? Is MAGA turning because of this?
Maybe MAGA didn't change, and maybe Trump did.
I don't even know why there's an argument. Just read the official international definition of genocide. There's no argument. I mean, but they want to make it a thing. Like,
we have to read the whole thing. Can't we just ask ChatGPT?
The United States levied more sanctions today against Iran in its largest Iran-related action since 2018. The Treasury Department sanctioned more than 115 individuals, entities, and vessels that make up a vast shipping empire controlled by Mohammed Hossein Shamakini, son of top political advisor to the supreme leader. This network transports oil and petroleum products from Iran and Russia, as well as other cargo, to buyers around the world, generate tens of billions of dollars in profit. And so they are sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury today. It was announced. Here's the global reach of these criminals. I don't know why they would want to develop BRICS, some alternative economic system, banking system. They're just attacking the dollar, Ruckus.
Right, because, this program has not been tracking what's really going on behind the scenes there for the longest time, thanks to the work of yourself and Simon from Florida. Shout out to Simon. Yeah, I don't know. This is clearly... We caused this problem. They reacted. This was their solution, and now we're like all angry. Like, well, you made this bed, now lie in it, America. Way to go. What would you do if you were placed in these countries' positions? We would do the exact same thing.
We put aardvark land first.
Oh, I was like, we are doing the exact same thing, aren't we? I mean, aren't we making our own little bricks now? It's just, except it's AI. It's AI. It's America and Israel. There you go.
There you go. That's the true definition of AI. There's no artificial intelligence. It's
Make
America.
AI great again. It's mega.
It's America and Israel. That's what AI really stands for. Backhandedly, esoterically, symbolically. Good job there. Tying those together. 33. Okay, a couple more stories and then we got to wrap up as we're past the 2-hour mark. I know that Ruckus is sore from his skateboard and
my back's killing me, dude.
My vision is getting blurry. We just have 2 more stories here and we'll wrap up this Wednesday broadcast. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff to travel to aardvark land to address humanitarian crisis in Gaza. What is this guy gonna friggin' do? Not jack squat. But he's going over there and tomorrow.
He's a realtor or something. He's going to sell a house.
And then the final story, TikTok removes video by Huda, beauty boss, over anti-aardvark conspiracy theories. I saw that. I was like, we gotta talk about the conspiracy theories there. TikTok has removed a video by businesswoman and beauty influencer Huda Katan, in which she promotes conspiracy theories about aardvark land. The Iraqi-American entrepreneur, I don't know why she would have any ill will toward aardvarks. The American Aardvark Committee said she was using her massive platform to spread vile antiseptic conspiracy theories. Well, that's good enough for me, Banner.
Notice they don't define what's exactly considered anti-Israel conspiracy theories. That's a mouthful, by the way. Normally we hear anti-Semitism, so this must be something different. This is not like your traditional, like, oh, the aardvarks control Hollywood or whatever it is.
Well, all they have to say, the Anti-Defamation League, and I'm quoting them now from this article, they say, these dangerous and historically baseless accusations echo some of the oldest and most pernicious antiseptic tropes. Well, that's good enough for me, Banner.
Did she dress up with like a funny looking nose and a shirt and drinking blood? Oh wait, that was the other guy.
That's Shmuley. That's Rabbi Shmuley.
Oops. Yeah, so because like what qualifies now is like, so did she say, I really don't think it's good to starve children to death in Gaza? Like, oh, this is dangerous anti-Israel.
Here's what she claimed to her 1.7 million followers. She claimed there was evidence that aardvark land has been behind World War I, World War II, as well as Al-Qaeda's 9/11 attacks on the U.S. and October 7th by Hamas on aardvark land, during which and they told us, we know 1,200 people were killed, and of course babies were put in microwaves and beheaded and all the rest of it. And of course there's evidence that some parts of the attack at least were AI generated, American and Israeli generated, out there on the interwebs for you to furtherly investigate. And so that was her claims, that they're behind all these wars. And so sounds like a good enough conspiracy to be antiseptic to me. Get the plumber, and they brought it in to drain the clogs there on TikTok and banned her video.
Next thing you know, somebody's going to pick up that Bible book thing that's out there, and they're going to be like, hold on a second. This was written a very long time ago. There's some really anti-Semitism things going on in here.
God is really antiseptic in that Bible of yours. And it goes on, our chat saying the Gulf of Tonkin, Kissinger, USS Liberty, I don't know. the King David Hotel, I don't know. I'm just making up baseless conspiracies there, even though it's all...
Yeah, one person's history is another person's anti-Israel conspiracy theory. What can you say?
There you go. Oh, man. Okay, that's all we got for today. Let's go to the channels quickly here. The Odysee. Who do we have on Odysee, if anyone? A few people, I believe. Yes. Odysee, we got Gur, Highland, John. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for chatting up there. They say, hey, Ruckus. Putin did it. You know Putin did it. What do they say? Alex Jones will be saying Trump got Tesla's notebook and built the earthquake machine. Maybe I'll be saying that. Tsunami fear narrative, boy who cried wolf until the tsunami hits. Yeah, well, they may be crying wolf and then do a real one. You know what I mean? So people be like, no big deal. And then boom, wipe out. Let's see. Sorry, but that was the moon and a refinery. Private road. Let's see. Don't worry, Sam. The UN will enslave your conscience. Well, at least we can have the UN's good for something here now. What's it say? The comment could cause ED. They're talking about Pelosi. Oh, man. They're promoting self-amplifying mRNA in your miracles in your pets. Yeah? Huh? Hey. Anything
and your dental floss, too.
I saw that story, too. I don't know how real that one is, but...
Oh, apparently that's a real thing. I had to do a double take on that one. But, yeah. It's questionable whether or not Bill Gates is involved, though, just so you
know. Let's see. They said just rub your neck. Just rub your neck. You need a massage with a happy ending. What do they say? Purdue had to cut the federal government in on the profits, but there was no criminal prosecutions. Indeed, John. Indeed, they did. They just had to cut them in on the that's it. You just got to give the protection racket their cut, just like the mafia, and everything's fine and dandy. Go about your business, on to the next crime. And now I'm bringing the big guns to have your back. You know what I mean? And so, indeed.
And we at Weaponized News do highly recommend that you offer at least 33%.
There's something to it. So we need to be using their stuff against them, or at least for our advantage over here. Okay. Let's see. Bitchute. Shout out to the audience on the Odysee. Thank you guys for joining us. Lively chat as always. The Bitchute, a few over there. Thank you for joining us on Bitchute. Rumble, lively chat as always. Thank you for joining us on the Rumble channel there. The regular snarky, Karen, Chloe, Denver, a few others, Thomas.
I think I saw Nature Boy in there earlier too.
Nature Boy,
so shout out to Nature Boy.
Shout out to Nature Boy. Thank you guys for joining us on the Rumble, the YouTube. A few people, Anne, excuse me, and a few other people over there. Thank you for joining us on those, on the YouTubes. Kick, X, of course, Who knows if what goes on X, Kick, Twitch, and Facebook. Thank you for joining us on all those platforms. Thank you, Ruckus, for joining us on this Wednesday through your painful injury. We're praying for your quick and speedy recovery. As always, everybody, do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. And we'll be back here tomorrow with a very special interview. No YouTube channel tomorrow. So join us on all the other channels I just mentioned with a special interview with whistleblower nurse hero Michelle Spencer about her lawsuit and all things public health and what all has transpired since she warned so long ago. I think it's like almost 2 years ago now, where she warned about, they're seeing a massive increase, like I forget, even 20-fold increase in baby demises there at our local hospital due to the miracles. And very sad indeed, but she blew the whistle, did everything she could. We did everything we could to warn the public. And so what else can we do? We can't do anything more. But be sure to tune into that tomorrow and have a